Welcome to Where I Long to Be, a magical trip report podcast. My name is Virginia, and I am your host. Last week, after some audio challenges, I put out the call for listeners to identify the spot in my recording when a car revving its engine could be heard by telling me what restaurant we were discussing. A few people submitted, but only one got it right. So, without further ado, let's hear from our winner.
Good morning, Virginia. This is Jody Collins from Harvard, Massachusetts, also known as your park planning pal. We are Instagram friends. Just finished your most recent podcast. I'm glad to hear that you are feeling better. Kidney stones are no joke, but Alex did a great job stepping in for you. I'm sure I'm not the first person to send a voice recording, but you all were talking about Whispering Canyon. I did slightly hear the vroom vroom. I will say, though, the air conditioning in your home was definitely like turbo loud. I could totally hear you, but the vroom vroom was even more subtle. Thank you for all of your content. You are my favorite podcast, and I hope you have a great weekend.
Congratulations, Jody. I will be picking you up a gift when I'm on my trip in July. So when you get a chance, please DM me your mailing address. Thank you so much for being a loyal listener and for participating. And I have a confession. That wasn't actually my air conditioner, if you can believe it. In New York City, many buildings that were built before a certain year have steam heat. And we were having a cold snap the night I was recording. So the steam had turned on and was going crazy. I think we had a week where it was like in the upper 70s, and then it went back into the 50s, and that triggered the steam heat to come on. And it was just absolutely nuts. Anyway, I have learned something from this, and it's that it's better if I don't try to fix anything, because when I tried to silence myself when I wasn't the one speaking, it only made it more obvious. So thankfully, it's a seasonal challenge, so I won't have to worry about it again for a while. Okay, on to this week's show. Today's guest is a second-timer here. You know him, you love him. It's Chris, also known as Trumpet Squid on all the socials. If you aren't following him on TikTok or Instagram, what are you waiting for? Seriously, pause this and come back. Okay, you're back, just like Chris. Welcome back, Chris.
Thank you for having me back. Very excited to be here.
I know. It's always good to see your face, whether it's here or on TikTok or Instagram or all the places that I follow your content. How have you been?
Yeah. Good. You know, it feels like this trip has been on the books for 18 months.
Wow.
We booked this trip all the way back when Disney was doing like a 50% off your cruise deposit, and we just took advantage of the we could book all the way into summer or spring break of 2026. So I'm excited for this trip. It feels like it's coming at just the right time after the snowstorms that we've had to deal with, and just the holidays behind us. This is the right time.
Yeah, and I was down in your neck of the woods for like a business trip I had to go on, and it was after all the snow had gone, but I was a little surprised by the lack of cleanup in
they don't really know what to
area.
Do with the snow down here in the DC, Baltimore kind of area. They just, the snow shows up. This in particular, this storm, they called it that we were gotten snowcrete. The snow that came in, it was super cold. When it was snowing, it was like it snowed only actual snow for a short period of time. And then it just sleeted on top of that, and the ice encased the snow. The machines, the trucks couldn't pull the snow up. We were trapped. My son was off from school for a week. And it was only at the end of the day, you know, near us, probably like 6-7 inches. In other areas it was more, but they could not, the plows were breaking. It was so cold that they could not pull it up.
Okay, this is making a little bit more sense to me now, because I have to admit, I was judging the plowing jobs that I saw.
That's fine. It was terrible. And then you up there, you guys got hit twice. And
we got hit twice, but at least like we know what to do, because it does snow occasionally here. And
you have equipment. And
we have equipment. And in fact, this year is the first year I learned about these, what I'm referring to as hot tub trucks.
The melters.
Yes, which I had no idea of. But when I was on this trip, I was driving a rental car, and you'd be driving down like a 2 or 3 lane highway, and suddenly,
Yeah.
without warning, without signs, without anything,
Yeah.
there's a pile of snow in your lane.
Yep.
And to top it off, like there was like a snafu at the rental car place, so they had like booked too many cars, didn't have enough
Right.
cars for the amount of people, and so it was like whatever was available when it was your turn on the list, you got. And I got this like massive SUV Mercedes, which was too fancy for me because I could not figure out some of the, even like how to put it into drive. I sat there to the point where the rental car guy came over and was like, "Ma'am, are you okay? Do you need something?" And I was like, "I'm just trying to like get my bearings on everything." And he's like, before he walked away, he goes, "Oh, by the way, this is where you put it in drive." And I had been looking for other things. Like I had been trying to set up my
I
phone
understand,
and whatever.
yeah.
And I was like, I'm so glad he said that, because now that he tells me it's on where I would normally think to put on windshield wipers on my car,
Yeah.
that was the drive thing. And so I would have had to call him back to ask him about that. I felt ridiculous. But anyway, it's hard enough to drive a car you're not familiar with, but to have
Right.
a car you're not familiar with and to multiple times out of nowhere be suddenly going towards a snowbank and need
Yeah.
to stop.
Yeah,
was
there
challenging.
was a friend of mine who lives in an apartment and had a balcony that overlooked one of the big highways, and that's all she saw were people coming in, and because the snow was not plowed correctly, you would think that there was a lane, or there's supposed to be a lane there, but they only plowed 2 out of the 3 lanes or whatever it was, and
Yep.
all of a sudden it was like, I'm in a snowbank, and these
Yeah.
cars would just roll into the snowbank, and yeah, that was very good social media content for a while. Luckily, nobody seems to have gotten hurt, so
Yeah, it was challenging. I was over there in the Bowie State area, which I
oh yeah,
only recently learned it was pronounced Bowie State and not Bowie State. But
it's Bowie. Bowie here, yeah.
Now I know. Anywho, before we move into your plans for this trip, for anybody who did not get a chance to listen to your previous episode, which was from September of 2025.
Seems like forever ago.
I know. We've lived a lifetime in these months. Why don't you introduce yourself and just tell us, we've already alluded to where you are in the world, but what's your background? Why do you love Disney so much?
Sure. So, my name's Chris. I'm not someone that well, of course, everybody grew up with Disney in some sense or another, but I feel like I really got into the parks and the Disney bubble pretty much right after college. I went on a big trip with friends, and then since then, I've really enjoyed being in the bubble. I've learned over many trips that I no longer need to be in the park to have the same type of experience that I want to have. I just like being down there almost seemingly as soon as you get off the plane at MCO. I feel like I already feel better. And the rides are great. I'm not a thrill ride person. I don't really do roller coasters. I don't do roller coasters, although I have done Guardians. That was a terrible experience. Never again. When I was there on this trip in September, I rode Dinosaur because it was closing, and I was told, it'll be fine, it just jostles you around, and I filmed a TikTok right after that and saying, you were all liars. That was awful. That was terrible. I don't even know what happened because my eyes were closed the entire time. It was terrifying. So yeah, I'm down in the Washington D.C. metro area. I've been down here since college. Originally, I'm from New York. Grew up in Queens there. And yeah, we've been to the parks. I started a spreadsheet. I don't have it up in front of me. Maybe that'll be for the next episode. I started a spreadsheet to keep track of my trips because I think it's fun to look back on it and you kind of forget what you've done. I've gone when I was much younger with my parents. I don't remember. We just have the actual printed photos of me, with Mickey or something. But since college, I've gotten to obviously go on my own. I got married. Right after we got married, my wife and I went down there on a little mini moon. My brother got married at the parks, and since we've brought our son now, and he loves it, and now we're going to get ready to go on our first Disney cruise. So I love the idea of Disney. I don't need to be on a ride to be happy. I just need to be somewhere within those signs, those road signs. That'll be good enough for me.
I understand that feeling. Now, your trip in September was just you and your wife, Chrissy.
That's
so
right.
Who's going to be on this trip?
We have a 6-year-old boy. His name is Vinny, and he's going to be on this trip with us. We took him down to Disney for the first time. He turned 2 while we were in Disney. That was a lot of fun. So he's, interestingly enough, we took him on a Royal Caribbean cruise. I have personally sailed Royal 6 times now. We took him on one of them with my parents, and I think we watched, there was like a National Geographic episode about the building of the Wish. The Disney Wish, and he really liked that and was like enamored by all the big construction equipment and all that. And ever since we started getting into cruising, we've only been cruising since early 2023. I've obviously really wanted to do a Disney cruise, and when Disney came out with their deal for this one, I just pulled the trigger on it. So yeah, Vinny's coming with us. One day I think I'd love to do a cruise with just me and my wife, but this is appropriate. Bringing Vinny, it's a totally different experience from what we've had experience with on Royal. I mean, I haven't been on a Disney cruise, but just all of the research and the YouTube videos that I've seen and the discussions that I've had, and I just knowing the Disney brand, I just know this is going to be different. It's going to be great. I'm very excited for him to see all of that.
So you are heading down April the 12th and coming back the 19th.
Yep.
Is this Vinny's spring break?
Funny you should ask that. It is not. It is my wife's spring break. She is an elementary school teacher, and so we really had to plan this around her break. Vinny actually is just finishing his spring break, and so he'll go to school this week, the week that we're recording, and then we're pulling him out for a week. That's what you can do though when they're little. It's not, it's a little harder when he gets to be an 8th grader or, God forbid, a high schooler. So,
It's going to be here faster than you know.
Yeah, and teachers' PTO schedules are so difficult to deal with. It's just like, once we figured out what my wife's spring break was, we just took that opportunity.
Now, you said that you had booked this 18 months ago. So when you booked it, did you book these exact dates, or you held it and then later decided what your dates would be?
We booked these dates. No, we knew well in advance what her spring break was, and we booked the dates.
Okay. Yeah, I know, because when people sail on a Disney cruise, you'll get, that bounce back offer or whatever they call it.
Some kind of, you get a deal where you make a $250 deposit and then you got to get 10% off or something off of the whatever you end up booking, but you've got to do it within a year. So yeah, I'm sure you're going to take advantage of that, but that's not what we did.
I feel certain that I think that's a given when it comes to you, is that you're going to go on this and get hooked and be like, all right, this is what we're doing now.
I know it.
All right. So outside of the cruise, which we'll get into, you also have a couple of resort stays on the going down portion. And when you come back, which hotels will you be taking advantage of this trip?
So we're going down a day early. Everybody says, and I agree, you got to go in at least a day early for your cruise. Don't, it's dangerous to go in the day of embarkation, although on the last one we did do that. So practice what you preach, I guess. But we're going in the night before on the 12th. We're staying at Disney's All-Star Sports Resort, and we just picked that because we wanted to take advantage of the Disney Cruise Line transfer bus, which picks you up at the resort and brings you to the port. So cheapest room available, please. That's what we chose for that one night.
And then what hotel will you be staying at on your way back through town?
Yeah, we are going to, when the cruise gets back in, we'll take the transfer bus back to Walt Disney World, and we'll be at Coronado Springs for 2 nights. So we'll be there in one of the casitas, I think. Last time we were there, on the last trip, we stayed in Gran Destino. But we wanted to be close to the pool for Vinny, so that's what we're doing.
Yeah, and I think that particularly with a resort-only stay, it's not quite as important for you to be close to the main buses or anything like that.
Yeah, right. Although Coronado Springs is a big resort. We were spoiled when we were in Gran Destino Tower. Everything was there.
The food and everything.
So we'll see how much I like it or dislike it on the back end.
I think that all of the times that I've stayed there and not been in Gran Destino, it's been maybe like a 10-minute walk at the most to get to the food. So I don't think you're going to be too far. Now, granted, I think there are some farther out buildings that perhaps I have not.
We requested with our travel agent, always use a travel agent. She put in a request that we're in the building that's basically like between Gran Destino Tower and the pool. So hopefully we'll be in a good spot. But yeah, there's definitely farther out groupings of buildings. Could be worse.
Did you use Danny from Fantastical Vacations again?
That's right. Yep.
Okay.
Yes, we did.
All right. Good to know. And did she help you set up your cruise as well?
Yep, everything. We did everything through her for this, so she made it as seamless as possible. I had a lot of questions about the cruise when we were going into it, so she was able to answer them all. Yeah,
I think especially if I'm ever doing a cruise, I for sure want to use a travel agent because you have all of this information that you... As many times as I've talked to people who've been going on Disney cruises, I am absolutely certain the first time I do it, it's going to be a little overwhelming as to how do I do all this? What happens what day? How do I plan for it? And it's nice to have somebody who is experienced in that to help you.
Yeah, we have the benefit of at least this isn't our first ever cruise, so it's a first Disney, but so we at least know a lot of the things about what should we bring? How do we check in? You got to have documents. What can you bring and what can't you bring? So, but I totally agree. It is because you're moving and you're kind of traveling, right? You're not just plopping yourself in one spot and staying there. There are a lot more particulars that it's very helpful to have someone who can answer those questions.
Are you in any of the Facebook groups for people who are sailing on the Wish at the same time you are?
Funny you should ask. I am the admin of our Facebook group.
Of course you are.
Okay, but
I'm not surprised.
I have justification. When we booked this cruise so long ago, the first thing I did was, okay, great, let's find my Facebook group. Well, there wasn't one. What's a guy to do? So I made one and started, getting the word out, putting it on all the other... There's so many Facebook groups, not just the Facebook groups for your cruise sailing, but like Facebook groups for the ship, Facebook groups for what you anyway. So yeah. So now we're pushing 600 people. It's actually pretty cool. But yeah, I ended up as an admin of the Facebook group. I think it's fun. People have really strong opinions on whether or not they want to bother joining them. But for a first-time person, I really have gained a lot of knowledge from the people that have been doing this longer. So, yeah.
Did you also join a fish extender group, or is that sort of built into this?
Oh, boy. So I learned this was another thing. Yeah, we did join one. After I joined, in the multitude of research that I've been doing, lots of people recommend if this is your first one, don't do it. So immediately I was like, ooh, did I make a mistake? I was out today still going to try to find certain things that we needed for them. So yeah, there was somebody else in the Facebook group who approached me and was like, hey, I don't know if you're doing this. It's a thing. I can do it for you. I was like, go right ahead. Go and organize it. So they put together a spreadsheet. People signed up. Then she assigned everybody's in their groups. And so, yeah, we're doing it. But I got to be honest with you. I think I agree. And this is me prior to getting on the cruise. So let's have the conversation on the flip side. It's a lot to think about. For a first time, if you're still wrapping your head around it, you haven't experienced it, you haven't received the fish extender gifts, that's a big thing. I don't know. I'm, Googling and watching YouTube videos and listening to podcasts about what people are putting in these things. And then it definitely feels a little bit like that episode of The Office where Michael buys Ryan the iPod and the white elephant gift exchange, and everyone's like, whoa, why are you doing that? Because you see people post these things, and I look at them like, how much are they spending on all these people, And then, of course, people are, well, I go to Dollar Tree, Target Dollar Spot, Five Below, Amazon. And Chrissy had to say to me a couple of times, I think we're good. I think we're okay. But I have this, well, I don't want them to not like what we've gotten them. Like, did we get enough?
Yeah.
And, then there's different, it's like family groups, kids only, adults only. So we are in a family group and an adults only group. And then it's like, what do you get a 45-year-old man? Yeah,
Yeah, and for people who don't know, the fish extender groups are groups where you can sort of arrange to get each other little gifts, and you've agreed that everybody's, participating within your pod, I'm going to call it.
Yeah, yeah.
I mean, I think if I had a small child,
right,
I would probably do it.
And that is the reason why we jumped on it, yeah.
I don't want, I don't know, maybe I sound like a bit of a Grinch, but
no,
I don't want a bunch of stuff.
That's what people, it's like you get stuff you don't want, and then not to mention I've got to bring it all with me to Florida. I gotta pack it in a suitcase. So now again, I'm like, I was out this morning being like, well, we have the little bags for all the individual people, now we've got to put them in a larger bag to put, that's like, but catch me on the flip side, and maybe I'll have the best experience ever. And you're right in the fact that I jumped on it because we have our son coming with us, and I wanted him to get that experience of the magic and the pixie dusting. And what a lot of people do, and a lot of people have been saying, is they just put up the fish extender. They go and they put it up on the thing. It's the little hook outside their door, and they don't join a fish extender group, but there are people who just pixie dust and are nice and put things in, right? And so a lot of people will have the bag, but not everybody's necessarily doing this organized exchange. And I honestly think that's probably the way to go.
Yeah, I would do that, I think, because then get a little bit here and there, and then maybe I would bring, a handful.
Well, you got to bring things to advertise your podcast.
But is that allowed? I can't imagine that's allowed. If I'm putting podcast stickers in people's pocket outside their door,
I don't know. I mean,
that feels advertising. I don't know. Include a QR code.
I don't have any business cards that I'm handing out for Trumpet Squid, so yeah, I guess you're right. But I have a sticker for my door. I have a magnet for my door.
Okay, that's fun. Yeah, I would bring magnets for my door, partially just for fun, and so that honestly I could identify my door from a distance, because
they all
I think it's easy to get lost. All right, let's go through your day-to-day plans. So Sunday, April the 12th, what time is your flight?
It's very early in the morning. I think it leaves at like 6:30 or even 6. I know that the scheduled Uber is picking us up at 4:15.
Oh my goodness.
So it's early, because if it's leaving I think it leaves at like 6:15, which means it's boarding at 5. So it's all of a sudden you're getting up at 3. You might as well not even sleep. But I didn't want to park my car and pay for parking for a week. So
no. What airport are you flying out of? Reagan?
We are flying out of Reagan, or as the locals call it, National, DCA. Yeah.
Okay. And what time does that get you into Orlando?
Gets us in pretty early, like close to 9 o'clock. Okay. I think just before 9.
Okay. And how are you going to get from there over to All Star Sports?
We're going to Uber. This is, if we were just traveling without our son, we would normally just take Ubers everywhere. We generally would do the bus, the Mears Connect, when our son comes with us, because then we don't have to bring a car seat. We are trying something new. We purchased a travel car seat. Now, if anyone from the National Highway Safety Administration is listening, may not be. I don't know what the approved. I don't know, but Florida's a interesting place anyway with all these rules. And he's like 6, but our son's kind of like lanky and small, so I don't know if it's whatever the rule is. We have a car seat that we have to blow up. It's kind of like a booster thing, and then it's not a bit. It's more of a booster. I shouldn't say it's a car seat. It's a booster to bring him high enough so that he can use a regular seatbelt. Many people have suggested it. We have friends who have it, and according to Amazon, this is what they do in Europe. So
if it's good enough for the Europeans, I guess it's
we're gonna give it a try. We'll see how it goes. Yeah, so we're gonna Uber from the airport to the resort.
All right, now because you're getting there so early, and this is a resort only stay, what kind of plans do you have? Are you gonna Because your room won't be ready. So
No.
what are you thinking?
I don't, probably the pool. By that point in time, I'm going to need to eat, so I'm going to probably get something to eat. Vinny's going to want to get in the pool. Since my last trip, I've gotten into pin trading, which is a whole thing. So, I'll hit up the shop and, I think we'll just pretty much just hang out by the pool. We'll make sure we have all that stuff and wait for our room to get ready, have lunch, and just wait.
Okay. Are you
Maybe
gonna
we'll
do any
leave
Disney Springs?
Not on that. Not on the Sunday. Not on the Sunday.
Okay. All right. So just resort time on this day.
Yeah.
And
yeah.
what time do you need to be ready to be picked up the next morning for your transfer?
Good question. Probably need to figure that out. But from what I understand, it's basically sometime we will be told. But I do know that I think we have to have our bags will be picked up for us. I think around 7:00 in the morning.
Okay.
But then
All
I think we'll be told when we have to go get the bus outside of the main hall there.
Do you know when your
Port arrival?
yeah.
So
Is that
for
pre-assigned?
DCL, it is. So 30 days before your embarkation day is the all-important, you got to check in at midnight thing. But because we're doing a DCL transfer on the DCL bus, it doesn't matter because it's whatever time they're just going to pick us up and they're going to bring us there. And whenever we get there, we're going to be able to get on, I guess, unless we're there super early. So all my paperwork just says transfer. It doesn't actually have a time or anything, as opposed to these other folks who are like, oh, I got 11:30 or I'm in group 10.
Okay. That in a lot of ways makes things much easier.
I agree. They're going to prioritize their own folks. So happy with that.
Okay. Cruises are a little bit different to talk about than a park trip. So what are the stops on this cruise?
So one of the big reasons why we picked this particular cruise, in addition to it worked out with the schedule, is that it's 4 nights. It's only going to Castaway Key and Lighthouse Key, or Lookout Key at Lighthouse Point. So only the 2 of Disney's islands. It's not going anywhere else. So we have those 2 days and then an at-sea day. It's not going to Nassau, which is another popular destination, or anything like that, which I think is pretty cool.
Is the sea day in between the 2 island days?
It's the last day.
Okay.
Is that good or bad? I don't know.
Who knows?
Yeah,
right.
I don't know.
Which of the islands will you go to first?
Castaway. Castaway is the first day, and then Lookout, and then the sea day.
Okay. And again, because talking about a cruise is a little bit different, why don't you just tell me what you are most looking forward to in experiencing your very first Disney cruise?
The cop-out would be everything. I mean, I think I am most excited to just be on the ship. When we go on cruises, I'm very much, some folks cruise for the destinations. They are excited to get off and explore or do an excursion. For me, when I cruise, I love the ship. The ship is the destination for me. So I think I'm most excited, honestly, to experience the onboard activities. Disney Cruise Line, when you play trivia and you win, you get a medal. You get a plastic medal. Now, compared to Royal Caribbean, where they give you a keychain or a highlighter or a pen, I want to try and win those medals. I'm very excited for that. So, I mean, that's probably my big thing, is the whole onboard experience. That's what I'm looking forward to.
The one cruise that I have been on 20 plus years ago at this point was a Carnival cruise, and I did trivia and I won, and I got a trophy of some sort, a small trophy, because I had a picture of myself holding it. Lord knows where it went. I think I probably threw it away because I don't generally like a lot of knickknacks and tchotchkes, which again, I'm sitting in Alex's room, so all you can see is tchotchkes behind me.
I've got a lot. I'm the opposite. I have too many things. Every few years I have to go through and just purge.
I mean, I do too, because things just build up.
Disney
have things,
survives on selling tchotchkes, so.
Right. Yes. Yes. For me, it's my Disney mug collection. I have to go through and really assess which ones I need to keep and which ones it's time to part with, because I've only got so much space. All right. So you're looking forward to trying out some trivia. Have you seen any of the shows that are being offered that you're especially
Yeah.
excited for?
So I think we have Aladdin, Little Mermaid, and there's like sort of a review show. I think it's CSEAS, The Adventure, I think. Or I might be thinking of one of the other ones. Yeah, I'm looking forward to that. I don't know how excited I will be to see Little Mermaid or Aladdin. On some of the other ships, there's some more unique shows. Or I think the Destiny has Hercules. That would be awesome. I mean, so I'm not. Those are not my priorities. I would like to see the review show because that's the kind of stuff I like. But yeah, they are showing though. They have 2 movie theaters in addition to the main theater, and they're showing Hoppers. And I have purposefully not seen it, nor have we taken Vinny to see it, so that we can watch it on the ship, which I think is cool because they will
Fun.
They usually will play early release the movies on the ships. Although Hoppers is already out, but they'll have like the very new movies that have come out from Disney, obviously. So we're looking forward to that.
Is there any kind of pirate night or anything like that?
There is. I don't know off the top of my head which night it is. I think it's the night before the At Sea Day. There is a pirate night, so every three nights and more, they have pirate night, from what I understand. I've never experienced it, but we did. I know my wife bought some like piratey items. We got a pirate shirt for Vinny, and then I bought. It hasn't come in yet, but I did buy a Pirate Roosevelt shirt, which is like I have like 20. I have many Roosevelt shirts. That's all I'm gonna wear. We're like I will do that, and then one of the we actually bought for all of these fish extender gifts like eye patches to give everybody. So woohoo! I mean, pirates are not really my jam, but I shall participate.
I'm sure you'll have a good time. All right. And what about the food offerings? Everybody talks about places like Paulo. I assume that there's a Paulo on the ship. Is that something that interests you, given the fact that you'll have a 6-year-old with you?
Yeah, so we are very much looking forward to Vinny enjoying the kids club. My hope is that he doesn't want to leave. So we did try to get a Paulo. Not dinner, because as you mentioned, we have the kiddo. But we're tried to get a brunch. They do brunch on the sea days. And so we tried to get that, but it's one of those things you have to book at midnight, 30 days, because we've never sailed before. The more you sail, the higher you move up in their castaway club, and the earlier you get those options to book. So by the time you're getting down to the runts of the litter like us, who've never sailed before, all that stuff is gone because it's only a 4-night sailing. So we are going to try, though. They say when you get on board, go and see if there's, check in with the dining folks when you get on the ship and see if there's something they can do for you. So if we can do a Paulo brunch, we will, because I think that'll be cool. Danny, our travel agent, she said, I can get you a reservation at Enchant, which is like $145 a person dinner. We're good. That's not our style. So that's, just for the signature stuff, that's what they have, those 2 restaurants.
What is the kids club theme on this ship? Do you know?
So it's like, there's like a Star Wars thing, and then there's also a Marvel thing, and it's like a whole bunch of different things. The Oceaneer Club, it's all, they've got, I know there's a Star Wars thing, there's a Marvel thing, and then there's like apparently like a roller coaster tycoon thing where you can build a coaster and then you can ride the coaster in a little
that's fun.
VR thing.
Okay.
I only know that from the YouTubes, so.
Love it. Well, you've got so many fun new experiences to have, and I can't wait to hear all about those. And then after the cruise is done, you'll be heading over to Coronado for those 2 nights, presumably spending a lot of time at the pools. But do you have anything else planned, like dining reservations or anything?
Yeah, we do. And then, I like the pools as much as anybody else, but like I said, I'm looking forward. It's been, since we haven't been back since I entered the pin trading arena. I'm looking forward.
That was some really big air quotes that you just flashed at me.
It is really, you can't see it here. I've got a pin board now, so I have some pin content on my social media. So I'm really looking forward to kind of giving that a shot. So maybe while everybody else is in the pool, I will escape a little. But the ship gets in pretty early on Friday, and then they kick you off the boat pretty quickly. And so we are taking the bus transfer back to the resort, which was also purposeful because de-embarkation day or disembarkation day on any cruise, it's hectic because they want you off the ship so they can turn it around and get everybody on. And there's all these rules about where you can be and you have to be out of your room by a certain time and all that. So to make it as easy as possible, Disney wants us off the ship. Well, Disney's going to take us to the resort. We take the bus back to Coronado, so we'll get there hopefully, in a good time. We don't have to wait too long for our room to be ready. And then that evening we have an 8:10 reservation at Wailulu Bar and Grill, purposefully timed so that we can hopefully see the fireworks for Happily Ever After.
And you ate there in September, right?
We did. We ate there just as like a random lunch day, and it was delicious. So we wanted to go back. We'll bring Vinny. But we really wanted to try to see if we could get, hopefully the weather is good. We can be outside, and they pipe in the music. So we're looking.
Is it at 9 p.m. fireworks?
I think so. Maybe it's 8:30. Either way, we're hey, if I gotta drag that dinner out, I will drag the dinner out.
Well, that's what I was gonna say. Is if it's an 8:30 fireworks, there will be people dragging it out. So I'm not sure whether you'll be seated or not yet. Just because that's what I've heard is that people will sit there for a really long time. So
yeah, I'll have to look that up and see when, because I don't know if it gets later over the summer or not that we're in the summer, but right now it says that tonight it was 9:30.
Oh, okay.
So hopefully we'll be there to catch we'll be dragging it out at the end there.
So you're going to be like, all right, we'll just order appetizers. We still need to think. And then.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. Well, why don't you we'll get some drinks and But, yeah. I think that'll
make sure you get a dessert, maybe a coffee.
Absolutely. No, we'll do that.
All right. So Saturday, do you have any dining plans?
We don't, and that was purposeful too. I think that I would like to try to go to Disney Springs between these 2 days. So I thought maybe that could be a good day where we go to Disney Springs either for dinner or something like that, or again just to try to go shopping in Disney Springs. So and buy some pins. So we do have Sunday morning though. We have a reservation for Topolino's Terrace for breakfast, 10 o'clock in the morning with the characters. That's the first time I've ever done that, so I've really wanted to go there. The Riviera is like where I want to be.
Where you long to be?
Where I long to be. There it is.
Wait, have you been to Topolino's at all before?
No, have not.
Okay. Have you been to the Riviera at all?
Oh, yeah. We've been there. Last time on the podcast, I was supposed to go there to get their chocolate chip banana bread, and we never did it.
You were.
And I was very upset, so we're going to rectify that.
Okay, yeah, get a piece to go. You're going to be full for breakfast.
Exactly. Well, that's our departure day, so we'll, interestingly enough, we do not leave. We have an 8 p.m. flight on Sunday. I have no clue I don't know what we're going to do, so that might be in Disney Springs. Maybe that's the Disney Springs day, because 8 o'clock, I don't know what I was thinking, but it's kind of hard now to change the flights.
I mean, you were thinking, let me,
stay there as long as possible.
Every bit of juice out of this squeeze.
Right, so we'll be having lunch and dinner somewhere on property before we leave. All right. So and TBD on that.
Does Chrissy have to work the next day?
We all have to work the next day. Vinny has school. Chrissy has to go to work. I have to go to work. I work from home on Mondays, though, so...
Yeah, that's why I was specifically asking about her. I was like, she's a teacher. She for sure has to be in person.
We don't get in until like 11 p.m. It's going to be... we'll see as we approach to see maybe if we can change our flights. But we'll see. But you're right. This was these were all agreed upon to suck as much out of this as possible before we go in July. Spoiler alert.
So, yeah, I think you'll be fine for at least one day. You can suffer through one day with not a whole lot of sleep and just go to bed earlier on Monday night.
You got a whole 2-hour flight to try to sleep, so.
That's true. That's true. I can fall asleep very easily on a flight, especially if I'm Disney tired.
Yeah.
Do you know what the weather's going to be like this week?
From what the folks are saying in the Facebook group, it's supposed to be good weather right at the moment while we are sailing. Mm-hmm. I have not looked up Orlando next weekend, or I guess that you can't. That's like kind of a farther out.
Yeah, it looks like you're in the mid to upper 80s for
yeah,
Orlando.
I mean, and that's fine. I'll survive.
I like it, like on the warmer side like that, personally.
I'm definitely I would like to wear a sweater in Disney person.
But only if Roosevelt's makes it, right?
Yeah, I love their stuff.
I don't know many people who don't. My only complaint about them is that they need more offerings for the ladies.
Yeah, I agree. They at least have a lady, like a cut, a different cut. But
right, for the button-up shirts, but they've got those really cute, like stretchy shirts, and they have one that they call unisex, and I ordered it, and it's so boxy and big, and I tried to take it in on the sides just so it like had a little bit of it, but it's still too long. I've never wear it. It's so cute. I loved the pattern. That's why I bought it, and I'll keep it because I paid what I paid for it. But
they're not cheap.
They are not.
You got to get into the buy sell trade group there. I have bought more Roosevelts in the black market than
really.
Oh, I shouldn't say black market because they encourage it. There's folks that it's a very odd, it's a fascinating subculture. There are these like people who collect them and never wear them, and then they like. So then they like collect it like pins. They collect it like currency, and then it's like, oh, I need to put a new transmission in my car. Let me go sell some of my shirts. And they've never been worn, so they'll sell them, at a discount or something.
So they're literally
a whole Facebook
just
group
hanging in their closet. They're not displaying them anywhere, or
people post pictures all the time of like their closets full of these shirts. I'm like, I thought I had a lot, and then you see a guy with 150 of them, and you're like, hey,
wow,
whatever. Yeah, because they ain't cheap. They are not cheap.
They are not cheap. They do have a lot of patterns to pick from. So when you said buy, sell, trade, I'm imagining it's almost like Go Fish. Like, do you have any Jurassic Park?
Exactly. People are like, I'm looking for this.
I've got Scooby-Doo if you want to trade.
I've tried to find a pirate shirt in there. I was like, hey, I'm going on a cruise. Anyone have a Peter Pan or Captain Hook or something? And I got nothing. So
yeah,
I ended up getting something with, I think, Captain Hook on it.
Okay. Well, Chris, it has been a pleasure catching up with you, and I am really looking forward to how you enjoy your very first Disney cruise and getting to hear a little bit about your experience with Vinny, since the last time we talked it was a couple trip. So I'll want to hear all the details about everything you all are experiencing as a family, and have a wonderful time and be safe.
Thank you.
Thank you to Chris for joining in on the podcast fun for a second time. And thank you all for listening and supporting the show. If you are considering submitting to be on the show yourself, now is the time. My schedule is jam-packed lately, so I'm currently looking for people traveling in the late fall and beyond. If that's you, head to my website, which is whereilongtobepodcast.com, and click on the Be Our Guest button to find out all the details. That is all for now. Chris's post-trip episode should be next up in your queue. Enjoy that, and as always, keep daydreaming about where you long to be.